Hey everyone, so as promised this is the second video of the day and this is going to be focusing on some teaching technique. Now I'm going to address a few things which I think are largely ignored by a lot of teachers. I certainly ignored them for much longer than I should have done, and that is pronunciation, word stress and intonation. So let's start off with pronunciation. Now, you can see two words here on the board. We've got no and now. And because of the similarity in spelling, and also because of the similarity in the use of the consonant n, some students might find this difficult. Now, there's a number of different things you can do to help them to improve their pronunciation. First of all, make them focus on the shape of your mouth. When you grade your language and when you speak to a class, you should enunciate every syllable. And if you can do it, so can they. Often students try to speak too quickly. So if we look at this one, then I normally say, open your mouth, O. O. And you've got the accompanying hand signal as well. So if you're in a large room, they should be able to see that your hand, you start big, O. For the next one, you start small and ow. You go big and small, ow. Now notice that my mouth is moving quite a lot, and this is why students often find it easier to understand their teachers than they do to understand natural English speech, for example, in the street. Also with pronunciation, if you can give them something that they are familiar with, when teaching the sound I, you can say I, ear. They know these words, but they don't know them as sounds. And another thing that I often say to them is, when I'm teaching the sound I, think of an angry Mexican. Ay, ay, ay. And again, this is designed to get a laugh, but also it's designed to make it memorable for the students. The next thing I'd like to talk about is word stress. Now, this is really important, and students often don't realize why. Now, I'm going to show you two examples that you can show to your students that demonstrates the importance of word stress. Before I do, I often teach it that when you're drilling a word, you drop your hand when you say the strong syllable. So if I use this word, it would be pronunciation. Pronunciation. Okay? If I was using a word like electricity, then I would say electricity, so that they get used to stressing different words. Now, these two examples, one of them is very adult, and I would say don't do this with kids. I put a second example in for children's classes. So here we go. The first sentence that you can see is, my boss is important. Important. The second sentence is, my boss is impotent. Now, they know the word important, they don't know the word impotent, but simply going generally gets the picture across. Again, it gets a big laugh and the students really enjoy it. All right, the second one, if you're working with kids, I have just eaten 2 desserts. Desserts. Or I have just eaten 2 deserts. And get them to say the two words together. Desserts, deserts. Okay? And again, once they understand this part here, then they generally will start to accept why word stress is important. Finally, talking about intonation. Intonation is one of those things that you should be teaching from intermediate up, definitely. I'm doing a little bit of it with my students here at pre-intermediate level because it's a way of making them sound more natural. Now, the best way to teach intonation, again, is by using hand signals and getting the students to do it with you. Now, look at the difference between, oh, really? And, oh, really? In my voice, you can hear that it's the same words, but there's so much difference in the feeling that goes into it. Now, when you're doing up and down, get the students to put their hand like this and to imagine that they're picking up their voice. Oh, really? And then get them to put their hand going down as if they were pulling their head down to sleep. Oh, really? Now, the reason that this is important, and this is where I'm a psychology geek, and I really am a psychology geek, I love it, okay, is that the brain likes things in sort of mini packages. I've got a challenge for you. Start to turn your right foot clockwise. Okay, so just start to rotate your right foot clockwise. Now try to draw the number 6 in the air with your left index finger. You'll notice that you can't do it. You can't have one part of your body going clockwise and the other going anti-clockwise. The brain just can't handle it. The most popular is when you try to rub your stomach and tap your head at the same time. That's doable, but the anti-clockwise and clockwise one isn't. So when the students put their hands up, their voice wants to go with it so that the brain can have everything in its nice little package. When the hand goes down, again, you saw it with my voice just now, that the voice wants to go down as well. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you can actually read the board. I've just noticed looking at my screen that it appears to be backwards. I hope that's not the case. If it is, then at least I hope you can understand my explanations. That's it for today. I will be back tomorrow with another video, and I'll be coming to you from an izakaya, which is like a Japanese pub. It'll be my first izakaya experience, and I absolutely can't wait. Take care, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.